so I think you know this. I basically take that position, and it kills me as someone that's being affected by this, right? I mean, I'm being affected directly by what we now know is manipulation. I mean, just in the last week, right, this internal Google memo leaked, and they have some strange definitions. They're taking the European approach to free speech rather than the American approach. But give me the counter, if you've got one.
Well, I assume that agreement would be boring, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I was just in the restroom before the hot mics went out, and imagine that somebody took out their phone and snapped a picture as I just did while I was busy at the urinal. And that person decided to post that picture or video to YouTube. That's an immediate difference from television. Television was, in general, a one-way communication. We now have multi-way communications. Everybody here is operating a television station or a newspaper in reduced form if you have a YouTube channel. So it's clearly not the same situation. It's not exactly word for word what was going on in the 60s. The problem that I'm having is that a very good heuristic, like the market, because the market does many things well, and in general we need markets to do all the things that they do better than any other mechanism. We need markets to function. But we can quickly fall prey to the idea that markets are in some sense perfect. And then we have this problem that you do have market defects. Even the most fervent defenders of free market economics have to realize that there are things like public goods. You may have a moral hazard problem. You may have a monopoly problem. Now, because it's like a chess opening, everybody's heard these arguments. So we should not play through the chess opening because that's a waste of your time. Because the monopoly argument is, yes, these were thought to be monopolies, and then look at how quickly they crumbled. So the key question is, well, what's going on here? Is this in any way different? And I would say that partially the problem is where you're looking for the word censorship. And I would say you'd have to abstract censorship. Now, the reason that very often we can get paid to fill an auditorium, we find out in the portion after the show, when we're speaking, people come up to us and say, thank you for saying what I couldn't say at work, and I can't speak inside my family, and I'm terrified. Right now, we are living through what I'm calling left-Carthyism. And I'm saying that as a member of the Democratic Party who's voted always Democratic, never Republican. Whoa. Well, if there was any mystery about what Yaron Brook thought of the Clinton-controlled Democratic Party, we know now. Wow. But the problem is that left-Carthyism is a terrifying event, just the way McCarthyism was a terrifying event in the 50s. And so you don't need censorship with the heavy hand when everyone is terrified that their reputation, on which they base their ability to conduct business, can be destroyed by a tiny number of people who operate positions of leverage inside the commentariat, inside the tech companies, inside of HR. And so what we're seeing is a dismantling of everything that we had built on Enlightenment values, which are sort of a precursor to objectivism, perhaps, being threatened by an epidemic of control, principally from a left gone mad, and I might point somewhat stupid, countering a backward right that also has emerged from, out from under the carpet where you sweep all the unpleasantness. So we've got two extremes at the moment that are controlling normal people who want to have normal conversations about normal things, leading to a terrifying situation. And we don't know what's going on with a thing like Google. The firing of James Damore, the fact that you can't avoid Google. I think this is just simplistic. I can only avoid Google if I can avoid having other people. Can you guys put this up on Google? I can't stop all of you. It's going to take all of my time. We have a very difficult relationship with these companies. I kept my kids off of Facebook, but other people posted pictures of my kids on Facebook. There was nothing I could do to control it. So the usual problem with libertarianism is that this beautiful idea that the right to swing your fist ends at the tip of my nose doesn't really cover the gray area between your fist and my nose. And so it's not as simplistic as we would like it to be, but I feel like what we have to do is to not lapse into simplified heuristics, because many things have just changed. We have to abstract them. We have to figure out how Google and Facebook behave the way railroads might have behaved in some ways, not in others. Then we have to look at the Sherman and Clayton antitrust acts. We have to look at their enforcement, non-enforcement, the grounding in economic theory. It's a whole Megillah. It's not easy, right? But we have to take on the challenge of our times, and that's the challenge of our times. That's why I'm so excited to be here.